What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Fantasy Cheat Sheet. I'm Marcus Grant with Michael F. Florio and Laquan Jones. Back. I think we're back after a week, but we've done 2 shows already this week. We've done 2 podcasts, so it's like we've been back for a while.
We back, yo.
We are. How you guys feeling this morning, Florio? How are you this morning, my friend?
I'm good. Team USA won last night. That was cool. That kept me entertained. The Mets are on literally right now, which is always the weird part about being on the West Coast. But things are good. How are you guys?
Doing good. I will say that that is one of the things about baseball, midweek baseball, like having day games in the middle of the week, are kind of fun. I'm at home. I'm working from home. Like I can throw up a random. It's like usually 2 teams I don't care about, right? But like I'll sit and I'll watch, whatever Royals and Twins or something like that in the middle of the day on a Wednesday or Thursday. Like I'm cool with that.
The Mets are a half a game behind the Padres right now for the final wild card spot. So I'm joining you, Marcus, on that root against the Padres chain. I almost said it a little bit harsher, but
beat the Padres.
I don't want to bring the pod down real quick though, but England's going to the final, right? Like, are we just going to skip over that real quick? Like,
so beat the Padres.
RRR this week. How are you rooting for England still?
Right? Yeah, we got it. We'll talk about that. We watched the movie RRR. Like the fact that Laquan is still rooting for England after that movie is something.
A little insane. You're right, but man, come on, the timing. You did that on purpose.
I did. It's funny because about that. I mean, it's been a fun tournament. The Euros have been fun. Copa America has been fun. I just know that England is going to break your heart in the worst possible way because that's just what they do. That's just what they do.
But no,
blow a 13-colony lead again.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what's going to happen. We got some stuff to talk about. It's funny because I will be honest with you. I'm like only maybe 60% prepared for this show today. Whatever. But we know how this show
Florio got
goes.
the 40. We're good.
Cool.
We're a
cool.
team.
I mean, we know how this show operates, right? Like you guys out there watching and participating, you guys know how this show operates. So we're not a really serious operation here. But one thing that I did see that popped up on my radar that I thought I wanted to talk about was, I don't know if you guys are watching the off-season, the preseason Hard Knocks. I don't know, what are they calling this? Like Hard Knocks?
Hard Knocks,
like
believe it.
It's off-season? Okay, I didn't know. But Brian Daboll apparently guaranteed he could run a 7-second 40-yard dash.
No way. There's
Pulling
no
up his measurables.
Pulling up the measurables is crazy. There's just no way. If it's not on film, I don't believe it. There's no way.
I mean, so let's go figure this out, right? Because, what did Rich Eisen run in his last 40?
It's a good question.
Right?
We actually have the database for that.
Yeah, I know. Like I'm using the Google right now to see if I can figure it out. All right, so he ran a 6.25 in 2024. 7 seconds seems doable for Brian.
7
Daboll.
is a long time.
When's the last time he's ran full speed? Like let's be honest.
I mean, you would think that being a football coach that he does semi-athletic things kind of regularly. I mean, you would hope. Right?
No.
I mean, look, we're not asking.
I'm going to go to bat for my guy. I think he does it under 7 seconds.
We're not asking him to race Malik Neighbors, right? This is not what we're asking of him. We just want him to run a 40-yard dash in 7 seconds, right? Rich Eisen, and this is like, no offense to Rich, but nobody looks at Rich and thinks like, okay, this is like an NFL-type athlete, right? Like, he went 6.25. I will say that at first.
Daboll's got to be younger, right?
I think so.
He's 49.
Okay. So yeah, I would think that my first thought was that's ridiculous. And now that I see what Rich has run, I'm like, all right, no, it's not maybe not so ridiculous.
Nah,
7
it's
is a
ridiculous
long
to me.
time.
7 seconds is long, but I don't think he could do it. Because think about it, when's the last time you have ran full speed? Like, I know when the last time I ran full speed, and it's still slow. And I'm slimmer than him.
I'm not saying I'm a speed burner. I don't know. I'm gonna sit here. We have a little timer here, right? So I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 seconds right there, right? Like, I don't know.
Come on, you got kids. I know you're running. I mean, I ran full speed this week. Like, I know you have young kids. You guys are running full speed.
Here's the thing: we run full speed in short bursts.
There you go. Where you're trying to grab something
Right?
like, Mason,
We're
give me
more
my phone.
Like, parents are more of the 3-cone sort of thing as opposed to the 40-yard dash. Parenting is more of a 3-cone sort of drill and not necessarily a 40.
If they asked you right now, what do you think your 40 time would be? Like sub what? 6?
Oh, ooh, I don't know. No, I'm not getting under 6.
None of us doing sub 5.
We got to put this to the test.
Definitely not getting
summer.
under 5. I don't think I'm getting under 6. I don't.
I think I'd get under 6.
Can we put this to the test, fellas? Can we do a 40-yard dash, fantasy
right.
style?
I am down.
Let's
fantasy
ask
cheat sheet.
SoFi if we can borrow the grounds.
Hey,
now my fears I'm gonna like tear an Achilles or something like that. It's gonna be awful. It's gonna be really awful.
On IR before camp is crazy.
That's gonna be like first episode of Fantasy Live is gonna be me in a walking boot. You know, it's gonna be terrible.
You and Ray GQ, right? That's who tore it.
Oh man,
yeah,
like,
Ray
GQ, man. Yeah. So if you follow fantasy Twitter, Ray Garvin, Ray GQ does great work, especially in the like the Devi space and the Dynasty space. A couple years ago at the Fantasy Football Expo, there's a flag football tournament, and sadly, Ray tore an Achilles. But the upside of it is that he likes to tell people now that his football career ended on the turf at Hall of Fame Stadium.
I love that.
Right?
I'll tell you this. This is my first year going to the Expo. I am not playing. I know I could play flag football. I don't got nothing to prove. I don't want to spend the season hurt.
No. Not doing it.
So I'm just not doing it.
Thank you.
Don't do it, Marcus.
Thank you. Now, trust me. I don't know. We'll see. I might be able to get talked into it. We'll see. All
right, we're done.
Let's get some actual fantasy football questions in here. Goff or Caleb Williams? I know what Laquan's going to say, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Goff or Caleb Williams?
Goff.
Wait, really?
Yeah, Goff.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Because our expectations are less than 4,000 yards, and there's a lot of confusion and understanding this offense, so I'm going to go with
That's
safe.
my expectation. It seems like most of the football world is like, oh, yeah, he's going to break the record in the first year. I'm like, all right, sure.
Sure. I'm on that boat. I don't know. Let me see it first. It's still the Bears. It's still the Bears organization, right? Like, come on.
I mean, so are you team Goff?
I'm team Caleb, and I think he throws 4,000.
All right. I'm going team Goff.
The thing is, we know who Goff is. Caleb could be CJ Stroud, so that's why I would take Caleb over him. But I think he goes for 4. I mean, DJ Moore's getting 1,000. Keenan's getting 1,000 if he stays healthy.
Wow.
Or close to it. Rome will be in the 700 to 800 yards if those other guys stay healthy.
That's a great
right there, you're more than halfway there.
Wow.
You're 2/3 of the way there.
Wow. All right. I think I'm team Goff on this one. I think I'm also just trying to cushion my own feelings, my own emotions about Caleb.
Not be a homer.
This is exactly what I thought. I'm like Caleb is the mystery box. It could be anything. It could be Jared Goff. That was exactly what I thought when you guys were talking about that.
The thing about Jared Goff is I don't want to be a negative Jared Goff guy. He's awesome and a lot of indoor games. We know when to use him. As good of a year as he had last year, he was the QB 14 in points per game. So I think Caleb brings more upside than that. And you know what? The correct answer is take them both. Because you can pair them together.
Both. Mm-hmm.
Caleb has the upside. Goff is the safe guy.
Yeah. You can actually do both, for sure. Bonza YT wants to know Devonta Smith or Jalen Waddle.
Man, they're like literally back to back in my rankings. It's a toss up, really, to me. I mean,
Smith
Waddle.
For me.
Yeah, I think Smith for me.
See, I'm split.
It's close.
Very close.
You know,
They're top 20.
It
They're
is.
both top 20. They're both top 20.
Although here's the, I will, let me see if I can find it too, because Mike Clay actually had a really interesting tweet about the Dolphins' schedule in the back half of the schedule. And this is what it says: not to alarm those of you investing in the Dolphins in fantasy, but Week 13 at the Packers, Week 14 versus the Jets, Week 15 at the Texans, Week 16 versus the 49ers, Week 17 at the Browns, Week 18 at the Jets. That's a rough stretch.
That's rough.
That's a brutal
All
run of
pass
6
defense
games
there too. That's
brutal run of 6 games to end the season. So maybe, just maybe, that impacts your thinking.
Yeah.
Somebody. Ryan thinks it's coming home.
We're coming home, baby. Let's
he thinks
go.
it's coming home. He thinks it's coming home.
I love it.
It's funny because like England to me is like, what are they like? I won't say they're like Cowboy fans because I don't think they're as obnoxious, but it's like they love it. They love it so much and they want to win things so badly, and it never happens.
Yeah, there's a lot of heartbreak history in England, man. I mean, going all the way back to Beckham letting down the country, but, he ran to the U.S., by the way.
Going back to 1776. What are you talking about?
It goes further back. Look, in my time, I understand the heartbreak, and I feel like, man, they can do it. They can pull it off. They can pull it off this year.
England is the Yankees of the world, right? Like, they get by based on all the success they had generations ago.
So it sounds like a Cowboys fan base, man.
Pretty much.
Wow. Good question here from Maggie. Will you please explain what is meant by a vertical game, a go route, an X receiver, a slot receiver? I'd like a better understanding of what analysts mean when they use those terms. So here's the thing. I think it's better, like this would actually be kind of a good thing to do as a show or maybe a series of short videos or something like that. Because I know we do talk about this a lot. And there are people who certainly know what it means, but I'm sure there are a lot of people out there like Maggie who don't. The short answer, a vertical game, a go route is basically just you're sending guys long. You're sending them deep. You just tell your guy, generally who's really fast, run straight and I'll throw it to you.
Backyard
football, right?
There you go.
Just run straight and I'll throw it to you. But like things like X receiver, slot receiver, I do think it would be worth, maybe putting together a series of short videos to kind of, explain that to help people out and not just assume that everybody knows what we're
Yeah, we can get that
about.
together.
Let's work on that. So, but thank you for the question, Maggie. Absolutely great. Why am I seeing a lot of Greg Dortch talk?
Let's go! It's Dortch time. That's why, baby. Dortch season.
Are we past the Dortch? Is that what we're doing?
Past the Dortch. I like that.
Light the Dortch. What are we doing? Am I the only one that thinks Greg Dortch is massively undervalued, especially with the kick return rules? Would love to hear your thoughts on him heading into 2024. I defer all kick return questions to you, Laquan.
Let's go. This is double dipping opportunity here. Like, I know Greg Dortch is not going to lock up that second opportunity in the target share because obviously he's going to trade McBride and Marvin Harris, but he's getting double dip opportunity, and we've seen how good he's played with Kyler Murray with the snaps of over 70%. The dude averages a very strong 15 to 17 fantasy points per game with him. So you're getting those double dip opportunity on this hybrid kickoff where he's very elusive. He could break tackles. He's one of those players that you just want to have on your roster with this new kickoff rule just to have double dipping opportunity here.
All right. I'm down for that. SKS Enjoyer wants to know how early is too early to reach on Christian Watson, or what rounds are you looking for him for a good ROI? Are you Florio? I guess Laquan's fading him. Are you in on him, Florio, on Christian Watson at all?
Best ball. But I think in redraft, he's going to be frustrating week to week, and the whole Packers receiving room could be frustrating week to week potentially. But Christian Watson, given the explosiveness and the burst that he has, and I know 2 years ago, we could say that was because of Aaron Rodgers, but like Christian Watson is still very explosive and can win downfield. I just think it's going to be tough to predict when those big plays happen. So in best ball is the format that I think is where if you want to target Christian Watson, that is the format to do so.
I have generally stayed away from Packers receivers, except for Jaden Reed. He's the one guy that I feel kind of the most confident in. But again, it's been mostly best ball. Like, I think we've said this before. The Packers receiving room and the Texans receiving room have some of the same issues, except I think the ceiling is lower on the Packers receivers than it is on the Texans receivers.
Yeah. Agreed.
But they're also priced accordingly. ADP wise, you get a better
The Texans, you're paying all ceiling for.
Oh, yeah.
Floor, I don't feel is being really all that.
Did we discuss who's the safest one out of that pair?
Houston?
In Houston, yeah.
I don't think we ever
I still
talked
think it's
about
Nico.
it. I think it's Nico. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm on that side too with Nico being safe.
Because Nico is, I mean, he's younger than Stephon Diggs. They have, well, I don't know. They don't have any draft capital technically because they didn't draft him. But, But yeah, I don't know. I still think it's Nico there.
I think Nico is like, he gives you the safe combination of like safe floor, high ceiling. I think Diggs is more of a safe floor kind of play, and Tank Dell is the ceiling shot.
Agree.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know if you guys saw these tweets from a couple of weeks ago that the U.S. has a national football team, like an American football team, like not like football. But we lost in this tournament, and we lost like multiple times to multiple countries, including Japan. Like, we used to be a proper country, right? I don't even know what this tournament is. I don't know anything about it, except I just kept seeing the tweets about us losing to, like, different countries.
Like, who's on this roster?
Who's on this roster? Like, what is this? Do we need to send, like, the Chiefs? That's the question.
Just send one player.
We don't need to send the Chiefs. We could send the Panthers from last year, and we would annihilate.
I mean, we lost. Yeah, not only did we lose, as Mr. Scampers brings up, not only did we lose to Japan, we lost by 3 scores.
Yeah, it's insane.
I just saw this. I saw a lot of tweets being like, "This, what was it, 1991 when the Olympics were like, all right, we got to get the NBA players out, like this version of the football side of it now."
Hey, put LeBron out there. LeBron at the X.
You know what? Could we do that? Right? Could we take? You know, I mean, there are definitely NBA players that have some football skills, right? Could we take LeBron and, like, you know, pair him up with some folks and go win?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just throw it up.
Maybe not 40-year-old LeBron, but LeBron 5 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, but like, okay. So you had, was it you that asked the question in the cheat sheet, Laquan? What starting skill position players would be there if there's a Team USA football?
Oh, that was me.
Is that you? Okay. I don't know. We just put stuff in. Behind the curtains, we just put stuff in. We don't necessarily put a name to put it in there.
You got to do color font. I tried to do that in the show sheet.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, but we'll work on that. Okay,
whatever. You guys are hearing us work out our problems right here live on the show. Enjoy that. So, I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I think if we had a Team USA, like, we wouldn't be sending like top level stars, right?
No. That's what I want. I
know it would be. Like if we had like Mahomes and Justin Jefferson and Christian McCaffrey, you know, basically like put together the whole first 2 rounds of a fantasy draft sort of thing, right?
Chase, Tyreek Hill.
You know, like would we sit here arguing like, you know, how could Trey McBride get left off the team? Like, would we have that sort of argument about this?
We would.
I was upset Jalen Brunson's not on team. He wouldn't be getting minutes, but I still wanted him on the team.
Oh, he just wants the title. He just wants to get the jersey.
Well, he also wants, he wants the jersey, but also, you know, like 8-10 years from now when they're showing, you know, like, you have the picture of like, it's like, oh yeah, man, like, yeah, there's LeBron and Steph and KD and, oh, that's right, Jalen Brunson was on that team, huh? Yeah. Like, that's what it would be.
Yeah.
A redeemed team version of that is Michael Redd. I was looking at that picture the other day, and I was like, he was the only one that took me a second to be like, who is that? Oh, that Michael Redd.
I think I'd probably be the same. Like, I don't think I'd be like, oh yeah, Michael. Yeah, no, I would be like, wait, who is that again? For sure. This one from Booch. Mike Evans or C.J. Stroud for a keeper? I tend to struggle to keep quarterbacks.
I would keep Mike Evans.
Yeah. I'd probably keep Evans. I don't know.
Unless it's one of those leagues where like you could keep someone for years, I would go Evans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. What does he say? Oh, I have Bijan, Laporta, and Mike Evans. All right. Yeah, I think keep Mike Evans.
Keep Mike Evans.
You got all 3 of your skill positions locked up. You can find a quarterback. You might even be able to get Stroud again, depending on how the draft shakes out. I mean, really, you might be able to still draft Stroud and still be okay. So we're talking Jalen Brunson. So, of course, the Knicks stand has to jump in.
Oh, God. My boy Roman watching, too. He's also a Knicks fan back in Jersey.
like, well, If Knicks fans had their way, you guys would send all of your Villanova players over there and just like have that be a thing.
Like,
have your,
I'll
have your
fully
Villanova.
admit, like Drew Holiday, his defense is worth having out there, but Tyrese Halliburton, come on. Getting this down.
I didn't think
Oh,
we'd
look
get
at
Tyrese
that.
I
That's
did not
sick.
expect Tyrese Halliburton shade on this show today, like at all.
I will shade him any chance I get.
Real quick before we move on, do you guys have any really attractive RB handcuffs for this year? The first one that jumps out to me is probably James Conner, Trey Benson. That one
Mhm.
stands
Yeah.
out to
Blake
me.
Corum.
Blake Corum,
and
Kyron
Kyrie.
Williams. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, are we counting Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert?
Yes.
I would count Wright
love to
as
put
the
the
handcuff there.
Jalen Wright. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's fair.
That is fair. All right, cool. Let's see. Oh, apparently it's hot Bill Summer, Bill Belichick. Oh.
Oh, he's been the news lately, man.
Yeah. So there are photos of Bill. Let me see if I can. Let's see if I can pull this up here.
This made my day when I saw it the other day. This
Here it is. Hot Bill Summer, like him with his girlfriend, his 20-something-year-old girlfriend.
My man Bill still
Yeah,
kicking it.
Yeah, man.
I definitely thought the roles would be reversed and he'd be taking the pictures of her.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how
guy.
awful those pictures would come out? Like the angle would be off.
His finger will be in the lens.
It's like kind of blurry. Like what's
It's
happening?
facing him. Like she's teaching him how to work a camera phone there. That's what's going on.
But also, I mean, look, I'm sure you guys have been asked to take pictures of your wives. Like it is a
I'm the
nearly
worst.
impossible task. Yeah. It is. It's a nearly. I will take. I might take literally like 40 pictures, and maybe one will be considered acceptable.
Yeah, there's so many rules to it. Like, just let me take the picture how I want. Like, I'm not a photographer.
I'm just like, you take a picture of me. I'm like, all right, that's fine. Like, as long as my eyes aren't closed and I'm not like, have like.
I literally have to sit there for like 10 minutes taking the same angle. Like, no, you're too high in the lens. No, you're the lighting and like. You're not paying for this. Like this is a free photo here.
It is the woat, man. It is the absolute worst of all time.
Yeah.
See, I have it the opposite. Me and Nicolette will like go out. We'll do a whole day of stuff and then get home and be like, we didn't take one single picture. Like that's always my Achilles heel.
But see, like honestly, I feel like that would be better because like I don't really love taking pictures and like I don't necessarily take a lot of pictures. But like if I am asked to take a picture of my wife, like I'm like that's a. I will hand the phone to a stranger because that might work out better. That might work out better than me trying to take it.
Until you could start passing it off to the kids.
Ooh, that's a good question. I know Quentin's not there yet. Like if I give him the phone, he's gonna end up just going to YouTube and watching videos.
I was about to say, Mason's definitely a YouTuber. He will be like, oh, thanks, and then walk away like, no, take this picture, please. Like, yeah, he's definitely one of those.
All right, that's cool. Let's see, what is this? This is from Shava Perez. What's the best strategy for a redrafting league in PPR? I would say right now, make sure you get at least one wide receiver in the first 2 rounds. Maybe 2 of them in the first 5 or 6 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is hammer receivers early. I think.
Yeah, I think receivers are deep this year, so you hammer early, and then in those mid like 4 or 5, get a tight end. You can get a Mark Andrews, like how we talked about yesterday on the pod. I mean, great value there. I mean, like there's plenty of builds that you could do, but wide receivers are very important this year because it gets wicked dark after the 7th round.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if you guys feel this way as well. I think this is a heavy best ball influence, and I think come redraft leagues, running backs will get pulled up more than we're seeing them right now.
Yeah,
you may be right, and I think we're starting to even see it in best ball leagues now too. I was seeing some tweets about it that recent ADP shifts have shown that running backs are starting to kind of move up the board a little bit because we always do this, right? We always go really heavy in one direction, and then it's like, wait a minute, this isn't right. Yeah. So let's go the other way with it. Our movie this week. In Florio's Film Festival, we watched the movie RRR, which came out a few years ago on Netflix, and I will turn it over to you guys for a second, but I will just start by saying this movie is bananas.
Yeah.
Is that
Flora,
fair?
I'm so curious of what you got going on.
Yeah, Florio, your thoughts here.
So I had told you guys, like in college, I watched a lot of Bollywood films and stuff. So I knew like the song and the dance part were coming, and I think they did a really good job with all of that. But this is clearly Bollywood's version of like the Fast and the Furious movies. I would say like no main character is ever left for like they make you think they might not actually like Fast and the Furious be like that person's dead, but they make you think that person is done for, and then 2 scenes later they're just like the one dude gets brutally beaten when he's like held captive, and the next day he is fine and fighting back and stuff like that. Also, the scene that stood out to me the most was they brought Noah's Ark to the fight. And they come out with tigers and wolves
and a deer.
That was my biggest question was why is there a deer there? The deer would just get hunted by the other animals.
The deer would have made it out of the cage. It would have been eaten.
Exactly. And the animals would have been like, yo, we're fed. We're good. But the craziest part to me was my dude Superman punched a tiger mid-air.
Mid-air, like with a fire fist, basically. He had like a torch in his hand.
And that wasn't even the most ridiculous thing out of an entire movie.
What was that? That was up there for me.
That's pretty high up there, man. Like, I don't know. What was your most ridiculous thing there?
Oh, so many, man. It had to be on the bridge with the horse and the motorcycle with the rope, and they jumped off the bridge together in unison to save that little kid. That was like Fast and the Furious times 10.
First off, right, like, some guys become best friends because you grew up in the same neighborhood or you went to the same school or you cheer for the same sports teams. Some guys become best friends when they save a child from a burning train car underneath a bridge. Like, that's how – and this is like the greatest friendship in the history of friendships. I mean, everybody needs a friend like these two dudes. It was amazing.
I loved too at the end when I guess I'll call him like the general or whatever, the bad guy notices that his dude is gonna flip on him because of how the tree is seated, and then after he attacks him, his car gets like hit with whatever it was. He goes flying in the air, catches the rifle, loads it. And starts shooting all while in midair. Like I was like, look, this movie knew what it was, and they just went full in.
Yeah, they just went heavy on it. I mean, look at the point near the end where the one guy stomps on the front tire of a moving motorcycle, flips it in the air, not only catches the motorcycle, then beats one guy with it and throws it at a second guy. I'm like, yeah, man.
Wow.
But at that point in the movie, you're pretty much all in. I mean, because like if you're not all in after the first like 15 or 20 minutes, then you're never in. And like once you buy the first 15 minutes, you're like, all right, let's go. Like we're in for real.
Very enjoyable, but I don't think any movie has ever had better hand-eye coordination. These guys catch everything. Like
everything.
Best sharpshooters ever. One dude with a rifle holds up an entire army. Like,
oh my God.
Well, and Rama? I mean, he would fight like a whole army of dudes, and his hair would still be perfect. Like not a
dude
hair
is Goku.
out of place. He was amazing. Amazing. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's on Netflix. Mind you, it literally is 3 hours long. You may want to break it up into a couple of sittings if you need to, especially those of you with kids. Because I know you won't be able to have a chance to sit for 3 straight hours if you have children. But it is absolutely worth watching. So I found out we decided on next week's movie. Normally I get here and I'm like, I don't know what we're going to watch next week. I know what we're watching next week because we were talking about this in our text chain. I'm sure a lot of you have seen, maybe all of you have seen the trailer for Gladiator 2 that just came out. Yeah. And it was brought to my attention that neither one of these fine gentlemen has seen the original Gladiator. So we will be watching Maximus this week.
Let's go. I'm excited. I rewatched the trailer.
Maximus Decimus Meridius.
Where does RRR rank for you guys amongst this movie we watched this summer?
Oh, I mean, well, we have to take Godzilla -1 out. I feel like that's
number
not,
one.
That's a cheat code. Yeah.
I feel like that's not really fair.
We can add Godzilla and Kong. I'll put that at like 4. So far we watched.
I guess. I'm trying to think. What else have we watched? So I mean,
Big Lebowski.
The Big Lebowski is always a personal favorite of mine, so that probably comes number 2 just for me personally. This might be 3.
Okay, so that is actually so Godzilla, Big Lebowski, RRR is the exact order I have it in, and then the last 2 are Backdraft and Raid Redemption, which
is wild. So you have
Wait,
Backdraft.
no, I got Raid.
No. I have Backdraft 5.
Okay, that's
Raid
right.
4.
Right.
And
Okay,
then
that's fair. Yeah.
So I think we all are in the same order.
I think we all have the same order, which is kind of wild. So, so this is going to be interesting. Where Gladiator slots in here, right? Because, my early prediction. This is just my only early prediction. I'm going to guess you guys might have this as number 2.
That's my early prediction too. Knowing myself and the kinds of movies I like and stuff.
That's going to be my thought. Is that my guess is that you guys are going to put it at 2.
Is it Russell Crowe?
Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe, Joaquin Phoenix. It's
this is gonna be good.
Yeah, absolutely great. So next week we will be back. We will talk about Gladiator. I do have a third movie. I have another movie beyond that. Should I tell you now or should I wait? Actually, let me write it down because chances are I will forget.
We'll come back next week. Mark will be like, I have no idea.
I was like, I know I had something in my head. It just totally flew away in the last week. So I have written it down. And so I do have another movie after we get through Gladiator that we're going to watch that I think will be fun.
The chat is excited for Gladiator.
Yeah, man, because Gladiator is dope. My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius. All right, that'll do it for this edition of the Cheat Sheet. Thank you, as always, for jumping in the chat. It was buzzing again this week. We are always grateful for you guys coming and participating. And Maggie, we will seriously look into doing some of these short videos that maybe do kind of a glossary and explain some terms so that, when we say things like a go route or a X receiver or a slot receiver, that, you're not just nodding your head and pretending that you know what's happening here. Let's actually educate people. That's kind of what we are here to do. So thank you guys for hanging out and tuning in with us. Thanks to Susie for putting this together. Thanks to Laquan. Thanks to Florio. We'll be back with you on Monday for another edition of the Fantasy Football Podcast, which is out now. You can go and download it in the meantime. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you again real soon.